What's up, everybody? We are live. So, Mr. Rughi is at the Musa Store's Instagram right now, finishing up a live interview with him. So as soon as he gets done, he's going to come over here. If you guys want to go over there and watch what he's saying with 2 Alpha to Quit right now, it is the Musa Store on Instagram. I know these things always kind of go a little bit longer than they plan. So I told him no rush, just to jump in on the link when he gets time. We're going to kind of just start building the hype up for this guy, if you would. Those who don't know, we're going to go live with Shooter Rughi here in just a little bit. So Shooter Rughi is the Weapon Snatcher. He is the guy who grabbed the rifle on camera that was blasted all over the news, all over the internet. Grabbed the rifle that was stolen out of a police car, out of a police rifle bag, and a Seattle protester had that in his hands for a brief amount of time before this guy came along. So I'm going to actually take the time right now to show a couple clips while you guys are in here. And then whenever he joins us, we'll get him live and get him talking. So the first clip I want to show you is directly from his Instagram. And it is a clip from another interview he did with, I think it's Money Smart. Let me find the post here real quick. Actually, I'm on Musa Store. Let me go back to his page. All right, here it is. Money Smart guy. So this is going to send chills down your guys' spine, especially that last line.
Once I saw that rifle, I yelled gun to the crew, and I told them to get down around the corner, and I watched them get around that corner so they were in safety, and then I went and handled the situation. I went into that day, and my whole goal was to be gray man as I could be and have what I needed. You know, people like to make fun of those who try to do things right, but I went into that trying to do things right because I knew it could turn wrong. So every single thing that has ever come up since that moment, it's act, do something. He doesn't know how to react to the force that was coming at him, because I was going to get that from him, whether it was taking it or taking him.
Looks like there's some type of weapon there. We're going to break away from that shot there. I'm not sure who that person is, but obviously I'm very scared.
Woo! I'm telling you, chills right there. That is, man, like I'm kind of a little starstruck waiting on this dude to get on here because the dude's a beast. He's been all over the place. He just took the opportunity to do the right thing at the right time, and it has been shared. I mean, I couldn't even imagine how much publicity he's getting, but he's been on all the pages that I follow and watch on Instagram, YouTube, all these guys. He's been out with the Black Rifle Coffee guys. He was with Grand Thumb. You know, so I don't know which one I like better, Grand Thumb or Shooter Rughi, and even Grand Thumb seemed to have some starstruck in his eyes when he was interviewing him. So I think you guys are going to enjoy when he gets on here and starts talking. We got a list full of questions for him. I'm going to actually play the original video too, without the little caption there, because I think everybody needs to see this a few times so that you can actually kind of see some things maybe you didn't consider, and it will give you some questions in your head that you maybe not have considered just seeing this clip once. So really pay attention to the fine details and all that stuff. Toxic masculinity has entered the match. I guess that's okay. All right. Oh, hang on. Let me share my screen again. There we go.
By vehicles, also a concern.
Gotta make sure the audio shares too, guys. Sorry about that. There we go. All right, here you guys go.
It could spread to some other nearby vehicles. Also a concern about that. A building that is nearby.
Did you see that little flick of the wrist telling him to get the hell out of here?
And it appears as if there's some folks that are trying to All right. It looks like there's some type of weapon there. We're going to break away from that shot there. Not sure who that person is, but obviously a very scary and fluid situation.
Obviously, a very scary and fluid situation. I mean,
it could spread to some other nearby vehicles.
This kid looks like a kid to me. Supposedly got this rifle out of the car that the windows had been busted out, and was, basically a casualty of the riots in Seattle, and could tell pretty easily by the way he's gripping the gun that he doesn't really know what he's doing. Insert our Shooter Rughi comes at him with absolute intensity of prepared violence that this kid wasn't ready for. Froze him up. I'm surprised. I'd be shocked if he didn't have a streak stain in his underwear after seeing that gun pointed in his face. Just a short clip from a huge scene that happened in Seattle, and just such a powerful moment, I think, of somebody doing the right thing at the right time. I'm going to try to not get into all the, the fine details, because I want him here to give his side of it. But all we can see is what we see from the outside. We weren't there. So I think the kid was still, it almost looks like a girl. The kid was still like kind of just froze in place, didn't know what to do at all. And even had to have somebody come get him to, hey man, you need to get out of here right now. This is about to get real bad. Yeah, he is a very, very cool guy. Every interview I've watched, I've tried to watch as many of them as I can, the podcast and everything. He's just a super humble dude. And, his card was just pulled. If he wouldn't have done anything, there's no telling what could have happened with those guns in the hands of the people he had taken them from. Because he ended up taking 2 rifles. So you can see from the clip earlier, he actually had one already slung around his shoulder, and that had happened just brief moments before this one did. And that last line, whether it was taking it or taking him, man, that's crazy. Let me check back and see how their live's going. Yep, they're still live. So he should be wrapping it up any time now. There's going to be I know he's got an interview with Achilles Tactics too at, I think, 9 o'clock. So we're going to get this going. I don't want to keep him any more time than what he could give me, because this dude's got way more important people to talk to than me. Yes, the first rifle was fired. There's kind of an interesting backstory to that. He was talking about on Grand Thumbs, and he even talked about a little bit on the Musa store when they were live, when I was catching that. There was a lot that happened to this man in a very, very short amount of time, and a lot of people that were there could have never handled the situation that he did, the way he did. I think a lot of people would have either gotten froze up or possibly not have had that intensity that kept the crowd back. And, to see somebody, I mean, you saw all the people gathered around him in the video, to see somebody do something like that, and you're just a bystander, but you're there with the people that he took the gun from. You see that, you're like, I ain't messing with this dude. Like, the dude's clearly ready. It's go time for him. I mean, that Glock was ready to go. And I got a lot of good questions. I got some gear questions for him, some kind of comical questions to, just to kind of ease him a little bit. I'm sure he's a pro at this now, but we're going to find out. And he's got a lot of different ways we can support him. I'd say this is just the very beginning of what we start seeing from this dude in the industry. Ghost, what's up, man? How are you? Michael, Jason, Alan, and Heather. Hope everybody's doing good. John, Michael, Keith. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. Oh no, what do I do here? Anybody got any big plans this weekend? Guys that just came in, we are just waiting on Mr. Rughi get done with his interview with 2 Alpha 2 Quit over at the Musa store. So just a little bit longer here. Anybody in here coming to the grand opening next week? What's up, bro? Rifle came in. Nick submitted, was told it could take 3 days as they are backlogged. Wow. What's the normal wait time on a Nick check? Sorry, guys. I'm getting distracted over here. Going to try. 30 minutes. Yeah, that's okay. So it's pretty much normal any other time. Nice, Michael. Hope to see you there. All right. Yeah, the grand opening is going to be fun. We got lots of stuff planned, actually. We got the patch giveaways. We got gun part giveaways. We got those rustic wooden flags. There's a company that Black Diamond knew that wanted to donate some and brought them down. They're just bringing them down next weekend, so we're going to give away a couple of those. Who knows? There's going to be all sorts of stuff given away. Some safes. When is the grand opening? Next Friday and Saturday, but Saturday is the main party day. So Saturday, it's going to be free food, all the giveaways announced, and all the YouTubers are going to be there to kind of hang out and just kind of have a good time. So you definitely should come, Scott. You could probably honestly sell a couple of your patches at the event if you wanted to. Awesome, Keith. Hope to see you there too. That's awesome, guys. All right. Watch it go till 9, and he's like, we'll have to reschedule. I understand, though. I can't be mad at that. Sean, awesome, man. Hope you come too. I was just talking to Corey earlier. Hope Corey comes. So while we're waiting, let's talk about some guns. Yeah, that patch needs to chill for right now. All right, hang on just a second. Actually, I don't want to risk YouTube taking this one off, so we're not going to put any so I seen in his video his rifle didn't have a mag in it. Yeah, so both of those rifles he took. So the one he has already slung on his shoulder was one that was previously stolen just a few minutes before he grabbed that one. The first thing he does is drop the mag, racks the charging handle, and then you see him break the gun apart, take the charging handle and the bolt carrier group, stick it in his pocket, put the gun back together, and then slings it over his shoulder. I mean, dude is quick and fluent for damn sure. It was awesome to watch. Those that are just tuning in, we'll play this again for you guys. This is the actual news video of the Weapon Snatcher.
It could spread to some other nearby vehicles. Also a concern about that building that is nearby. And it appears as if there's some folks that are trying to. All right, it looks like there's some type of weapon there. We're going to break away from that shot there. Not sure who that person is, but obviously a very scary and fluid situation.
So that one doesn't show the whole breakdown at the end. I wish there was the full video, but everything else we'd have to kind of search through.
It could spread to some other nearby.
But one thing I want to point out before he gets in here, look at the rifle setup. You could clearly tell that's an aim point on the rifle. So it's definitely a nice patrol rifle. You could definitely tell there's rounds in the mag, nice light, and a good sling on it. But see this dude's grip right here? Now he is taking it off the rifle itself, but even ahead of time, it almost looks like he's just got a loose C grip on the back of his pistol grip right here. So to me, it doesn't look like this dude's ever held a rifle in his life. If he has, very, very little.
Some other nearby vehicles. Also a concern about that building that is nearby.
And he had no chance.
That are trying to.
Now the other rifle's quite a bit different.
Looks like there's some type of weapon there. We're going to break away from that.
Definitely got more of a upgraded handguard.
Scary and fluid situation. It could spread to some
other nearby
vehicles. Also a concern about that.
Actually, no, I guess it does have the normal handguard still.
It appears as if there's some folks that are trying to.
It almost looks identical rifle now.
All right, it looks like there's some type of weapon there. We're going to break away from that shot there. Not sure who that person is, but obviously a very scary and fluid situation.
Very scary and fluid. Imagine seeing this in the
concern about that.
Very first, like you're doing a live newscast and you see this dude just pop up, take somebody's rifle on live TV, and then points a gun at a kid and tells him to get the hell on. Like you'd automatically assume that, oh God, something's about to go down, which luckily it didn't. But he was that kid, man. That kid had no chance. I think he's a kid. The dude could have been 30 years old, but he looked like a kid. So that's one of the questions I want to ask him. Surefire scout on the slung rifle. Yep, it looks like it. I don't think the second one had a light on it. I could be wrong. Looks like they're wrapping up right now, so we should have him on here anytime. I couldn't see. It was definitely a bulky one, Scott. So the only gun we're going to show on live tonight is the SIRT gun. Anybody have one of these? I've got a target about 12 yards in front of me. Little IDPA target. And the laser is actually really accurate on this, but you can tell very quickly if your trigger press is shaky or not. See it? I was getting a little lazier each trigger press, but it definitely tells you, it keeps you honest all the way through. So at this distance, I'm at like the C zone. I'm aiming right dead center of the 0, but it's almost on the left hash mark that says -0 on the target. So my trigger press is definitely a little left. That's something I have a really hard time breaking. Okay, their video's over. Let's see if we can get them on here for a few minutes. Uh-oh. Might have had a sale come in for a safe. Mr. Hips, what's up? We're just waiting on our man of the hour to join us. I guess I better. I thought he said. If I messed up, I'm going to be. Yeah, no, we're on. We're on the right time. Should be good. Who all we got in here? It says we got 20 people in here. At least on possibly Facebook. I don't know if it takes a total of everything. Doesn't really seem the YouTube lives are working too terribly great right now. Probably on the YouTube list. Still here, just cooking. What are you cooking? RBS 106 in the house. What's up, Justin? Haha, he's here. All right, guys, almost time. Ooh, I'm nervous. RBS 001. Got the RBS crew. We're going to open up a little brief section if we get time for you guys for questions. So we're going to try to do that maybe right toward the end. Middle Eastern steak bowl from Hello Fresh. Man, that sounds great. Smitty's in here. What's up, brother? How you doing? All right, guys. Like, comment, share. Let's get this post active. Let's get this thing passed around to as many people as we can. What is up?
Not much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right.
How's it going, man?
Not too bad. I just got off of an Instagram live, actually.
I was watching that over there with 2 Alpha to quit.
Yeah. Is that yeah.
Yeah. It was on his business page, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Had a lot going on the last few days, so
absolutely, man.
Booking
I think
wise, my wife put them all like back to back, and then she's gone to Montana, so now I'm like, oh god.
Now you got to just handle it all on your own.
Yeah.
I think you got another interview tonight after this with Achilles Tactics.
Yeah, him and I actually served together.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that one. I haven't. We've kept in touch, but we haven't like really talked to each other since one of us got out before the other. I can't remember.
Is he? He's not near you over there in Washington, is he?
No, he's over in Ohio.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I've been following him for a while. Cool stuff.
Yeah, he's a very talented dude.
Well, man, number one, thank you for giving us a little bit of your time. Like you said, and like we all know, you've been all over the place. Very busy man. If you want to give a brief introduction about you and a little bit of your background.
Yeah, we can do that. Marine Corps, grew up in Washington, hiking and everything, camping, shooting, fishing, all of that, canoeing. Then, 9/11 happened when I was a child, and then I got old enough to realize, the significance of that, and I wanted to join the Marine Corps, and also I knew I wanted to be an infantryman. So when I get to that point in my life where I could do that, that's what I up and did. And, spent about 4 years in the real world before after I was 18, before I took off and do that family obligations to take care of before I did. And, I got in the Marine Corps, went through MCRD San Diego, SOI out in, sorry, I'm having some back and shoulder pain right now.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, then I went out to Hawaii and did 2 UDPs out there, and got out, and after I did some instructing as well, and I went overseas contracting.
How was that?
It had its ups and downs. Some of the ups were better than some of the downs, and vice versa. But
yeah, that's one of those careers I think a lot of people that haven't done it fantasize about being a contractor in a sense, and they don't really realize like what it could be like being a contractor. I follow all those overseas job pages and stuff, and some of those comments that come in about people just being interested is pretty comical.
Yeah, I'll say this, it has its place for people who need it. And it can also be a hole for people to fall into that just keep making money because it's the best money they'll ever make. And I get that. Shit, that's the most money I ever made. But it's not for everybody, and it's not a very loyal world. Hello?
All right, I have no idea what just happened.
Oh, there you are.
All right, so the last thing I heard was it has its place, and then that's when my screen went black, and I had no idea what happened for a few seconds.
No worries. Yeah, it has its place, but it's not all it's cracked up to be, and it's not a very loyal world to be in.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, man, so company-wise, or you said you've been instructing. So did you actually have a tactical company that you ran, or was it just kind of individually, or?
No, I was contracting. I was instructing as a contractor.
Okay, I thought maybe you'd come back over here and done some instructing too.
I wish. Setting up something like that it's a little difficult, especially out in this area. There's most of the ranges are all indoor, and I'm not a fan of indoor ranges for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, same here.
So trying to find one that's outdoor, that's close, like in the area I live in up in Puget Sound, to get to a majority of all those ranges is like an hour, 2 hour drive because you got all the water you got to drive around.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that, I have the Olympic National Forest, which is huge and massive and high mountains and beautiful, and there's nowhere to shoot like that in there.
Oh, man.
It's national forest too, so.
Yeah, right. So the only time I've ever been out there, I went to Spokane for a work trip. It's probably been about 5 years ago. I had to fly out there and install an ATM because it was $50 cheaper to send me than to hire some contractor out there to do the job for us.
Wow.
But yeah, it was a beautiful area. I have one question to kind of break the ice here a little bit for you. And a lot of people have asked me this. How bad is that back pain carrying around those brass balls that you got?
Honestly, you want the truth? I almost cried getting out of bed yesterday because I'm actually having real back pain.
Oh my God, man. Do you have like some old injuries that are bothering you? Or?
I don't know if I call it an injury other than just a dumbass. I was doing some rollover training several years ago, and before, when you flip over in a vehicle, you know, and you got to brace, before you unclip your seatbelt, you got to brace. I didn't brace, so I fell full body weight and kit right on top of my head, and it like crunched everything. So now I do the slightest thing. Like I was doing some MMA over in North Carolina with Nick Palmachano of Ranger Up.
Yeah, I saw that.
I went to shoot, and I hit him right in the armpit with my head because I got a big dome, and it wasn't hard, but it was enough, and it just scrunched everything down. And yeah, I'm turning like this, and
back pain's the worst, man. I've got a few things that are pinched nerves that'll come up every once in a while, and it just drops me like a little baby.
Yeah, so all those who ask, there's your answer. It fucking hurts.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah, I gotta wear that. I wear Under Armour underwear. Good support.
Shameless plug right there.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit about the traveling around and stuff you've been doing. One of my favorites was the Gunfighter podcast, Grand Thumb, and then you going over to Ranger Up. And was the Black Rifle Coffee guys there too? I mean, there's kind of some of the same people, aren't they?
Yeah, they work hand in hand, but different companies. No, they weren't there. I did do a phone interview with their media outlet, I think Coffee or Die, and
That's right.
Yeah, they did an article about it. He was a great guy, super nice. Yeah. You know, wrote a good article. So
that's good, man. So first thing we want to talk about, obviously, is why you're famous and all around the internet. You were there contracting, doing security work for a news crew, and happened to just be in the spot at the time that a situation could have got really bad, and you had to make a split-second decision and go. And now it's come out that you've actually had to make 2 split decisions, just based on those rifles alone, probably followed by tons of other decisions, you know, getting out of there safely and protecting your crew. But just kind of tell us your side of things, if you don't mind.
My side of things was I was trying to blend in and hopefully go through that entire day being unnoticed, and that didn't work. Got down in there in the city, saw the vehicles when we were on the corner, filming the rioting and the looting and everything that was going on. And as soon as I saw those police vehicles, I had a feeling they had the firearms in there, and they did. So guy pulls it, they're bashing into it, getting into it. Guy pulls a firearm. A police shoot AR-15 out of the window, and I told my crew, yelled at him, gun, and I put him behind a corner. And first thing I said, I stay the fuck there, because I was very serious about it. I needed to eliminate the variable of them moving or going somewhere I didn't know about and hadn't find them. So they did. They listened there. And then I went and made the decision and pulled my bag out in front of me, my Vertex bag, and slid in front of me, and I drew from my bag and went after the first guy. It was maybe 20 yards from the time I had to decide around that corner and then got to him. So it was quick.
So your only weapon was in your Vertex bag up until that moment?
My firearm was. I had several knives on me.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Like this guy, I had him tucked into the V-line of my pants.
Nice. Just in case, huh?
Yeah.
So what was the firearm you were carrying?
Glock 19 Gen 5 with some stippling and a Surefire X300U.
My man. That's a great
pretty
setup
stock
right there.
Yeah.
Yep. So the first rifle, he actually got it out and shot it. correct?
Yeah, I saw him pull the rifle out, and I put my team around the corner, which was easy. We were right there anyway. And then as soon as I came back around, he's in the middle of the street and he fired some rounds into the vehicle. And
the vehicle he had just stole the gun from?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Did that, and then by the time he fired the rounds and I was drawing my pistol from my bag, he ducked into the clove of it's actually a Starbucks doorway. I found that out a couple days later when I was back in the city. And that's when I came up on him and scared him, took the rifle from him.
So between him and the second person, do you think he had a little bit more experience handling a firearm? Because there's never, as far as I've seen, I haven't seen any video of this actual first snatch.
There is video of. So I got a message on my DM. Actually, quite a few people that were there and witnessed it and got video have hit me up on my DM and my Instagram.
Like some of the protesters?
No, honestly, no. People that were just there filming and taking photography.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Which is so just mind-boggling to me. Like the guy that took this video that I'm speaking of, he's got experience in Burma and places like that in the war zone. So I mean, I can kind of understand him, but some of the other people out there just taking photos and everything, like, go home.
Right.
You don't got a need to be there, a reason to be there besides, actually doing something you want to believe in and not rioting. Get the fuck home.
Yeah.
But it turned out that some of those dudes that were there actually just to watch helped me out. So, but the guy I'm talking about, he was doing a Facebook Live and he caught the firing from the right side. But you hear it, you don't see it. And then you hear me yelling, drop the weapon, drop the weapon. And then you hear a magazine hit the ground. And then the video shows me walking away from that guy back down the street.
Were the rifles pretty identical?
Yeah, they had like minor differences. Honestly, I didn't really look at them too much. Even when I was taking them apart, I wasn't looking at them.
I was going to say, your mind was in a million different places at that point.
Yeah, they were the least. At the moment they were in someone else's hand, they were my biggest concern. When I had them, they were not my concern at all. As long as they were on me, I didn't care.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, and I just want you to say again so people understand, why didn't you use one of the rifles over your pistol? That's always been a very popular question. It seems like on every show you go on.
Everywhere, yeah.
Everybody wants to know why you didn't use a rifle, and I think your answer is a very legit answer. So.
Oh yeah, I have several responses to it, and I just wish people would think beyond. Oh, it's a rifle; it's better than a pistol. It's more than that. So first off, they're police-issued rifles.
Yep.
They're not mine. Even in my hands, they're not supposed to be in my hands either.
Right.
I don't know those weapons. They're not zero to me. I don't know if they're going to malfunction. I don't know what kind of idiosyncrasies they have or anything like that. So I'm not going to use them unless I absolutely had to, which if I absolutely had to, that meant I was in a gunfight. Now, if I was in a gunfight, something like that, that's a risk I would have taken because that would have been the best thing to use besides my pistol, especially at ranges, the ranges that were up and down those streets and how many people, it probably would have been a lot more precise. Now, another one of my goals was not to escalate, it was to de-escalate. Right. So I took those weapons and I made them inoperable, and I'm still pretty damn positive that no one else in those streets, besides, guys that were out there doing the same thing I was doing, would have known what to do with it. Right. And I over-escalated those guys. I took the firearms, and I'm not trying to be a guy out there running around the streets of Seattle with a rifle and a pistol and then another rifle. Like, the situation did not deem that I needed them. My pistol was more than enough.
Yep.
Clearly. So many reasons, man. So many reasons. And
the amount of quickness that you can process all of this, I mean, it almost was like, that was never even a consideration because you already had your plan made up in your head when you went in. Even if it wasn't, to the T, you had still kind of like, you knew what you were doing when you were doing it. And everybody can sit here and Monday quarterback any video on the internet. But
yeah, I've gotten that question. And then the question of, when I gave it back to the cops, what happened, and then there was the ball question that I've gotten probably
Yeah,
the
I
most.
had to ask it, man. It's
Yeah,
like the first one everybody wanted in the private group.
yeah. Which it's brass. Brass is so crazy. I'd pick a much stronger metal. No.
Tungsten.
Yeah. No, I'd go for like adamantium, Wolverine,
Oh, yeah.
or vibranium. No, I'm a nerd. Um, there was a lot of reasons why I didn't use them. They didn't need to be used. I didn't need to be running around out there doing that. So
Absolutely, I 100% agree with you. What was so from the videos we did see and the one we played earlier before you got in here, the reaction of the guy looks like a kid. I mean, he didn't look like from the video to be any older than 18 years old.
man,
out there.
it was mostly white kids out there.
I just don't get that. You know what I mean? Like,
And I want to be clear, like, if there's a problem in our country, and I'm not saying there is, I'm not saying there isn't, I'm leaving this general. If there's a problem in our country and people want it fixed, and I want it fixed or whatever, absolutely. Let's get this shit fixed and let's be better. That's what America should be.
yeah,
But we have examples set forth by others that have done those changes correctly and right. They set the standard, right?
Yep.
And I've dropped them before. Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr., two of the most iconic ones, and one of them was in our own country.
Yep.
Now, some of those issues that took place then that we got rid of are apparently going on now, and they're rioting and looting and doing all this other kind of stuff, regardless of what faction is within these groups doing this. It's not going to work. It's not going to be the change that people want, because what change do we have? Lawlessness.
Yep.
American history being destroyed, lives being taken, violence. That's the change you want. You're gonna get a lot of change that you ain't ready for, and that's for fucking sure.
Absolutely. Kind of random, just popped in my head. How close is the Chaz area to where you were trying to work your way out of?
You know, funny enough, I had to hike that one of those days I was out there after that, and it was a shitty hike. It's like 25 blocks, something like that. It's far. Yeah, and uphill, by the way.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's quite a little bit of a ways, but I mean, people are treating it like a block party and just doing crime, but what they don't realize is they got eyes on them the whole time.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it's probably worse than walking around the NRA show when they had Trump Jr. in there with everybody you did and didn't see looking, from the outside in.
Yeah,
but
it's ridiculous.
So we went over your gear and all that stuff. You'd said in I think it was the Grand Thumb video that two guys ended up helping you after you had snatched that second rifle. I nicknamed them Coast Guard Cody and American Andy in my notes, so I would remember. But that was just kind of some topics I had taken from your interview.
American Andy, as you called him, he's actually the photographer that took the badass photos. I found that out last night.
Really?
I had his. I was going through my DMs, responding to him like I've been trying to get to for weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still nowhere close to finishing that.
Oh, I bet.
I found his, came across it, and yeah, he was the photographer that took that badass photo of me in the middle of the street, and then another one when I was clearing the rifle bag. I talked to him for quite a while. I thanked him, and he wants to get into learning how to shoot more and different things like that. So he's out of state now, and I set him up with someone who is one of the best in the industry, and for long range shooting. So they're going to get into that, and yeah, he's a pretty solid dude. He helped me out when we got like 3 or 4 blocks away, and I was trying to find the police because I didn't know which way they were. I held my team in cover, and I asked him, go that way, run up there, find these police officers. So I'm going the right way and not the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And he did that. And as for the Coast Guard guy, I don't know anything about him besides his Coast Guard. He broke off somewhere in there. If someone was leaving or walking away from me, I wasn't paying attention to him.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he's that photographer. He got his those photos published in Recoil magazine.
That's awesome.
And they were on Q13 News. And he's got his Instagram is full of pretty great photography and everything. So he's an interesting guy. We're gonna link up when the
And you
situation
got him
works.
tagged on your page, don't you?
I put him on my story today.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I
Yeah,
thought I saw him in
yeah.
your stories.
But I'm definitely probably gonna slip his tag in there here and there and everywhere, and hopefully it works out because he deserves some recognition. I really don't think I do, but you got this random guy out there taking pictures. Like I said, probably shouldn't have been there, but he was there and he did intervene in the way he could. So
Yep, one of the few that did. I mean, so you said he got into guns now. Was he not a shooter or anything beforehand, before this incident?
he carries. He was carrying that day.
So he's just getting more into long range stuff now and everything.
No, just he's only really done pistol and he wants to learn more. So I was like, dude, absolutely. You come up here, we'll hook up. But since he's out of state and he's near someone, a friend of mine, I was like, let me see if I can set this up for you as a thank you. So
that's awesome, man. That's cool that even just that came from it.
Yeah. I have an example of his character by what he did.
Yep.
And so I'm running with that, and he seems like a solid dude. So we'll see how it works out.
That makes it pretty easy to judge somebody when they just go ahead and act it out for you. That way,
right.
So another couple quick things. You mentioned that after you had grabbed those rifles, you had pretty much had the gray man status up to that point. The crowd basically kind of followed you guys for a while, and you all had targets on your back basically now because the whole group was kind of following you.
Yeah. The whole mob was coming after us, and that was probably the most annoying thing about it all. Because like I said, man, I want unity in the country, and my belief is if you recognize and celebrate the unity, that'll bring you to the table to fix whatever division or problem there is. And right now, that's just not it. So then you got all these people around that are acting the way they are and threatening our lives. And like, there's a video of them calling me names and stuff. There's like a short 1.5 minute clip on YouTube.
Yep.
People, you can just clearly tell people aren't thinking. Like, damn. Yeah. It's so irritating.
And even the scene when you grab the gun, none of those people know who you are at that point. And there was one guy out of the entire group that when you started messing with the rifle, darted off. Everybody else either focused their phone on you or was like kind of starstruck just looking at you. But just the lack of common sense we seem to have, especially when these groups get together, it's just it astonishes me. People put themselves in danger willingly.
I don't mean to argue against that, but I mean, I've absolutely inserted myself in danger willingly. But it was, right. The way I see it is like, you got a rescue swimmer and then someone who's drowning. The only difference between the two is the mindset that they have in the water. So
that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it. And I don't know how that situation would have gone if I had just been like, just gave myself the excuse, I have my team to safety. That's all I need to worry about. But I wasn't going to give myself that excuse. It was a very interesting day, and I got all that done, taken care of, changed my clothes, and my team and I went right back out there.
So how many days were you out there?
I've gone out multiple times. I wasn't allowed to go out for quite a few days afterwards. They
everybody recognized you'd have to wear a mask or something, huh?
Yeah, and then actually, in my opinion, something worse happened. About a little over a week later, no one got injured. There was no firearms, luckily for them. That happened. It's out on the internet now. Go to Brandy Cruz's site and go like 3 videos down. Mobbed I think is what the word is, and see 14 minutes of video of how these people are really fucking acting and the shit they're really trying to pull. And yeah.
It's sad, man.
It's pathetic in my opinion.
So I know you got some stuff to do. We're going to wrap it up here. Couple of last things I wanted to touch on. The mindset, man, the trained versus untrained, and the success that having that violence of action can put you in a situation where you're obviously outnumbered and overwhelmed, but can still kind of give you the upper hand.
Yeah, but that violence of action, it allowed me to basically take control of the situation around me to an extent with that presence, that command presence, that violent presence. And I kept that, I held that for, as long as I needed to, up until I got to the police officers. And I let people know, if you fucking cross this line, I have my pistol right here and I will go further than you, hands down. And so don't test it. This is a test you'll lose, guaranteed.
So they were just kind of taunting you on the way out. So they, none of them were willing to take that next step.
Some of them were definitely trying to work themselves up for it. And I mean,
wouldn't have been the
legally, right? I had to think legally. My weapon only came out when there were other weapons.
Yep.
And then I held it out down, my muzzle down until I got to a point where I didn't need it.
Didn't flag anybody, so no.
Well, yeah, and at that point, it's not. At that point, I wasn't flagging anybody. But if I aim my weapon at someone, that's assault.
Yep.
That's assault right there. Yep. And so, even if someone in a situation like that is aggressively coming at me, and I probably could have done it and got away with it, but I didn't. It's still assault, and I got to think, like, what line do I need to stay on legally, and where does that line go away, because I need to live and I need to keep my team safe. So,
right, and I think that violence of action that you presented at that time, possibly, maybe even more than not, saved that from turning into like a New Mexico situation where they did get enough balls and start swinging at you and everything. Because that dude, we've heard a lot of stories from that one, but that dude never had the I'm in charge type of persona that you put off when you were out there.
Yeah, and that was another big defense I had that I needed. And I guess I didn't realize that until I needed it, and I kept it up, though.
Yep. You did say you saved 2 of them from some future felonies, but do you think they are going to end up finding these guys? And
they're looking for them. I think it's going to be very difficult because of the situation, the circumstances, and everything. And they were pretty well covered up, but they're looking for them, and they're getting closer.
They're probably hiding in their mom's basement right now, scared as shit. Have you got any extreme hate mail or anything from this?
I've gotten some people. I've gotten some criticism from people who are pissed that I'm taking advantage of the situation. Well, I mean, they don't realize timing and opportunity. I'm also trying to start a business. I started that before this, and now this is giving me a platform to do that from. So they can go fuck themselves, because
absolutely, man. Right, or milk that cow till it runs dry.
Well, I mean, it's not even like that. It's not even milking the cow. This is what I have had happen in my life, so I'm going to make sure I can take advantage of it, so I can set my family up for a better future and build the dreams that we have. I have gotten one message from a barber in New Jersey saying, "I will murder you." So that was interesting. A close friend of mine actually called him, and the little coward hung up. So that's cute. And that's pretty much it, besides like a few other random people saying dumb stuff. It's overwhelming majority, like 99.9999% have all been 100% supportive. And this has come from both sides. I've seen some of these messages from the other side of things, like, thank you for not taking our life and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
But legally, I was already in my rights. So I hope people realize that. I was already within my rights.
It could have gotten a lot worse for some of those people in there.
Yeah. Second, he had his hand on a police firearm. Second, the first one started shooting. And the other one, I was well within my rights to do what I did. But I had made a decision beforehand. If I have an avenue I can take to end a situation without costing a life, then I was going to do it. And I got very lucky. No way in hell should that ever be the standard. I got very lucky in what happened, that no one got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And you could see even from the interview or the news clip when it was live, how quickly they were ready to start spinning that on you. We don't have any idea who this guy is.
I've refused to do an interview with them because of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, man.
They've been trying, and I refuse.
They'd find some way to add something into it they wanted anyway.
Yeah.
So last few questions here. You play Call of Duty, I saw in your stories?
Yeah, I was playing with some guys or some other companies in the industry. I haven't played in weeks and weeks and weeks, so I was super rusty. They basically just revived me the whole night.
Like, damn it, Carl.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but I'm gonna get my chi together, and you just wait.
Heck yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to get your gamer tag so we can jump on there. How can people support you, man? I know you got a GoFundMe, you got an Instagram page.
Yeah, so my GoFundMe, that I don't know much about these things. GoFundMe to me is weird, but by people a lot smarter than me, they've recommended that I do it, especially with my family's current financial situation. So, COVID's hit everyone hard, us too. So I have a GoFundMe in my Instagram. My Instagram's _shooter_Rughi Rughi is Rughi. And the GoFundMe is to help, start up my business because there's a lot of expenses that come with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That I didn't realize. So I'm doing that. And also, people who don't like GoFundMe, I'm setting up a PayPal and Venmo as well. They're actually already set up. I'm just trying to figure out how to put them in my Instagram. I'm new to this. So if you DM me, I can probably do it faster that way. And yeah, then I have another one that's completely it's Firewatch Official. That's it. Firewatch Official on Instagram. It's for military, law enforcement, veterans, and first responders and all them. Basically, to have a place to go on Instagram and say, hey, this is something that happened to me that bothers me. This is my story. Maybe here's a picture. You can do it 100% anonymously, or if you want to be put in there, you can. I actually have a close friend of mine that I served with. He's still active. He's taking care of it, and he's doing it a lot better than I ever could. And actually, it's helping him out too. And the followers on it shot from like 50 to over 2,000 now. So
that's awesome.
It's all user content. So whatever you send in is what gets put up. So hopefully it does some good. And I'm trying to make it grow with me and everything I'm trying to do. We all got Instagram. We all play around on it, but it'll be easy access for those to find some positivity.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for dedicating a little bit of your time with us. We really appreciate it. I know everybody that was watching was very interested to hear your side of things, and just kind of honored to have you on the show, brother. So really,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Keep up the good work, man. Excited to see what the future holds for you. One last question from a fan or somebody watching. They wanted to know, are you going to use your new powers for good or evil?
I tend to align with Quill from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's whatever. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to do everything I can to make a better influence in the world as much as I can. I'm an American through and through, and there's a lot of other countries I love out there too, and I want unity all around, but I'm gonna do everything I can to make things better, and hopefully with the positivity that's come my way and my family's way, I can direct that outwards and influence more. So
that's amazing, man. That's awesome. Well, thank you once again, brother. I'll be in touch with you soon, and hopefully we got a patch design hopefully coming out.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And if you want to do this again, let me know. I'm sorry I'm pressed for time.
No, dude, I completely understand.
Yeah,
like I said, honored to have you on here. We'll definitely do it again. So take care, man. I'm going to go watch you on Achilles Tactics now.
All right. I'll catch you later, bud.
All right. See you.
Bye.
All right, guys. So that was Shooter Rughi. Man, that dude is awesome. What'd you guys think? Did you guys learn anything you didn't know from the situation? Did you? I know we had some technical difficulties there. I have still no idea what was going on. My internet was saying it was connected the entire time. My screen went black. Everything was spinning. Luckily, he was able to keep the stream going since I had to jump out and restart it real quick. But yeah, man, that dude's awesome. He's a beast, and I think a lot of good stuff is going to be coming from him in the very near future. So make sure you guys give him a like and a follow. I'm going to post his, let me share my screen here. I'm going to show you his Instagram page so everybody can go. I've got his, actually, we'll just do it like this. Oh, no. Hold on, guys. Let's stop that. I want to give you guys Inception here. There we go. All right. Oh. All right, so Shooter Rughi _Shooter_Rughi, and then another underscore. So make sure his Instagram is blowing up. Looks like he's got all sorts of new stuff coming out, apparel. We didn't really talk a whole lot. I knew he was really pressed for time, so I didn't want to keep him longer than what I needed to. But he has the a new long range product that's coming out that's supposed to help marksman shooters. So be on the lookout for that. Not 100% sure what it is. I'm sure he's going to be announcing that in the very near future. But Shooter Rughi at Instagram, and his GoFundMe is the Shooter Rughi Business Startup. So we're going to be donating a little bit to that, and hopefully some other guys can too, or people can too, and hopefully get him right in the position he needs to be to start up his new business. Because I think if anybody deserves it, it's this dude. So yeah, guys, let me get my screen back posted up. Solid dude. He seems very calm, very, very calm. Even during the incident, that dude it seemed like he never sweated once. You know what I mean? He's just, when we talk about mindset and when you get into a situation that you never asked for, let alone, or that finds you, I hope to God I'm as calm, cool, and collected as he was, because I think in that instance, you probably have the best possibility of making the right decisions, but also having all the options out there in front of you. If you can control mindset and also prepare yourself for those situations, you're going to come out a lot better than just having to wing it when you're in the middle of it. Why he was there in the first place? Yes, he was part of the security detail for the media, so he was hired by them to protect them going directly into the riots and the looting. One question I didn't get to ask him, I wanted to see if he knew going into it, obviously I don't think he thought he was going to be taking any rifles from somebody, pointing a gun at somebody, but did he know it was as bad as it was before he went out there? And he said we can get him back on, so I'm going to give him some time to get caught up. I mean, that dude is super busy. I couldn't imagine having the schedule he has right now. He said he was just in North Carolina with Ranger Up. He was out where Grand Thumb is, which I believe he's probably in the Pacific Northwest as well. But, I mean, dude's been all over. So he's got to be jet lagged. He's got to be tired. I was just honored to have a brief few minutes with the dude. And even just to think that, he said he's going on to kill his tactics, and he was on the Musa store right before this. For him to take even a few minutes and to come on our little page means a lot. And I think it tells you a lot about the type of person he is. So really cool night, guys. I'm kind of like starstruck, and still like I felt nervous talking to the guy. I tried to hold my composure and get my words out without stumbling and fumbling around. But whew, it's you should have seen it. I was cussing up a storm when my screen went black. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm going to lose this interview of a lifetime right here. But it worked out. So. But thank you, everybody, for watching. It looks like we had quite a few people on this one. I'm sorry it was delayed for getting him on here, but if you did hang around, it was definitely worth it. Same story he's told hundreds of times, but it doesn't get old. I mean, when you have a situation like that is caught on camera and gets spread all over the world so quickly, you can't help but just be appreciative that something like that and somebody like that is representing us in the community. That dude needs to be president of the NRA. You know what I mean? Shooter Rughi for NRA president, man. If you're still watching or listen, if you hear this later, get on there. Let's get you in. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go eat some dinner with my wife, and we have some family in town before they leave tomorrow. So gonna do that. Back at the store, Liberty Safe in Knoxville tomorrow morning. Next week we have the big grand opening event. So if you guys are in the Knoxville area, come down to Liberty Safe in Knoxville. We have all sorts of stuff we're giving away. The link he spoke of, what did he say? I have to go back and watch. He named the lady's name. And said it was on her page. I thought he said Brandy, but I don't think that's it. Yeah, we'll have to go back. If anybody else remembers, maybe they can put it in the comment. it was definitely a lady's name, and it was her page that had the video up talking about what's actually going down. And I mean, the dude tells it how it is. You know, he wasn't as nice and gentlemanly and humble as he was. He didn't have any filter on anything, and I really appreciated that he was able to Brandy Cruz. That's who it was. It's very. I lost my train of thought. It's very cool that he is able to give us his side of the story and still want to do it after he's done it 150 times. But oh, there's a link right there too. Yep, Scott just posted it. Scott, I got your question in too. I could tell we were running out of time with him. He had sent me a private message over here and said he had to be out of here in 15 minutes. So I wanted to make sure I didn't hold him any longer, because if you guys don't know who Achilles Tactics is, that dude's huge. He's one of my favorite pages to follow. And that's actually what I'm going to go watch right now while I go eat my dinner. So I love you guys. Thank you once again for tuning in, making this live awesome. Thank you for hearing Shooter Rughi's side of the story. Thank you for always supporting everything we do here. It really means a lot. We're just getting bigger and bigger, and it's getting better and better, and we got a lot of awesome things on the way. So love you guys. Stay alert, stay alive, and we'll catch you all soon.